This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle. Once upon a time, in a distant land of corporate America, lived a young man. He worked for a pay-per-click advertising agency. He was very passionate about proving himself, and so he studied the art and science of PPC vigorously until he mastered it. He got so good at managing PPC campaigns for clients, it wasn't unusual for him to 10x his clients' businesses using his smart bidding PPC tactics. Seeing all the value he was creating for his clients and his employer, our hero worked up the courage to ask for a raise. Sitting across the desk, his boss leaned back in his chair and asked, "Or what?" John Crestani recalls this to be the moment when he lost interest in ever working for other people. He soon left the agency and started an affiliate marketing business online. Today, almost 6 years later, John runs I Am Jetsetters, an online education company that teaches average people with no business experience how to become super affiliates and live the 4-hour work week. John, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me.
Thank you so much, Igor. That's an awesome intro. I love it.
Well, that's why they call me Kheifets, my friend. That's what I do. Cool. John, I'll be honest with you. When I first heard about you, it was a bit of a shock because I've been active in this community for almost a decade as of the moment recording, this episode, and I never heard of you before. Like, never. I mean, I've heard of other people and
Sure.
They're really active, but it's not like you're like sitting on your ass all day long. You're really, really busy. You make a huge impact right now in the industry. There's so many people that you've helped. In fact, I Googled your name and all I see coming up are YouTube testimonials of affiliate marketers who are starting from scratch, claiming they're making, 20 grand in their first 2 months online, which is crazy because most affiliate marketers just fail. I mean, I'm no different. I failed for a few years straight before I got any success with ClickBank affiliate marketing. So the first question to you is, who are you? Okay, where did you come from? How did you end up here?
Yeah.
Because we don't know anything about you.
Sure. Yeah. So it's definitely, I definitely don't come from, you probably haven't heard about me because I don't come from the traditional kind of, the kind of internet marketing, network marketing space, Empower Net. I don't come out of Empower Network and a lot of those other companies. I'm guessing a lot of people are familiar with. I kind of came into this industry just, I guess I'll start with a little bit about my story. I came into this industry because I was doing affiliate marketing. Right. And I made quite a bit of money as an affiliate marketer for different weight loss products, skincare products, investment you name it. I've advertised in a lot of different industries and done very well. And as I was kind of growing my company, I've always been active on social media. So people have always been asking me kind of like, John, they'll see me in Vegas or they'll see me on ski trips or they'll see me in different places. And they ask me, John, what do you do? Or how do I do what you do? Because lots of my friends who I grew up with, they work corporate jobs. Like they get kind of jealous of the lifestyle us internet marketers live. So really, I just kind of came into this because I started producing videos to kind of help people out. And I've always been passionate about education. And, I turned it into a course, and I got really into kind of the education side of things and started marketing it. And, so I don't have any big leaders, or I don't have any really, really big, people that, that came out of Empower Network that, kind of gave my product the good graces, but I've just, people have probably seen our ads on YouTube or Facebook or Google, and, we're just trying to make a big impact and help show people, really, really teach people make money online.
Well, it's interesting to observe this journey because at one point, this is like one of the most common questions that people ask about joining business opportunities today. Is the same question, that you and me probably asked when we were looking for programs to join. And that's like, if you're so good at this stuff, if you know the secret, right, to making money, why are you even sharing it? And so it is incredible to observe your journey, how you go from zero to making a lot of money. In fact, making more money than you probably need to pay your bills and to pay your family's bills, right?
Sure.
And then you hit a point when just making the money ain't enough anymore, right? It's just, you hit a point where you have to share this knowledge and give back to the community that elevated you into this, semi-celebrity status that worships you basically for the skills you've developed as a result of of doing what you're doing. So, given the fact that you come from an advertising background, right, in that company where you manage PPC campaigns for other people, it basically means that stepping into this industry, you had an idea how to get visitors, you had an idea how to get traffic, and it means you could do anything, like literally anything, and you chose affiliate marketing. Why?
Because I was working for an ad agency and I was making $6,000 a month, right? And I started taking on clients. And I realized I could, I took on 2 clients, 3 clients actually, and I started making $25,000 a month. So I took on a client that paid me $10,000. I took on another client that paid me $10,000, and a client who paid me $5,000. So I realized running your own business was a lot better than working for somebody else. But when I started doing affiliate marketing, when I started realizing that you could get paid by how good you are, and there wasn't a limit. Clients are willing to pay you as much as possible. And I started doing affiliate marketing for company and just on a commission only basis. And that exploded my income, this time from $25,000 to, almost $500,000 per month is, was basically in January of 2015. I still remember, that was the first month. My company had been doing $50,000 a month before, and then we figured out how to do marketing a little better, and we got up to 500,000. So that was a big shift. So the reason why affiliate marketing is really it's just endless. And once you figure out how to reach people and how to influence people and how to affect people's lives, it can be a lot bigger than what you ever imagined. It can, and that sort of scale is life changing. Going from $5,000 to $25,000 was nice, but going from 25 to 500 in a month, it's just a completely different level. And that's the point where you really start realizing that there's completely different societies. You're in a completely different world than what most people could ever imagine.
Interesting. So I love it how you said, then we figured out a way to market it a little better. And then we added an extra, $525,000 per month to our revenue.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly it. And it's not, you're still, you decide what sorts of problems you want to solve. You could figure out how to solve the problem of how to, a lot of people are in jobs and they're figuring it, they're trying to solve the problem of how to get from, $6,000 a month to getting a raise to getting paid $7,500 a month. That's one problem. You can work on that problem for months. You could be brown nosing your boss. You could be making friends with the right coworkers. You could be, getting your performance numbers in line so you get that raise for $1,000. Or you could work on solving other problems like finding a new client, or you could focus on actually, marketing a little better. And either way, I realized you're spending the same amount of time. It's just how big of a problem, how much do you want to get paid for it? It's your time. It just matters how you want to, what type of rewards you want to get for it.
Okay, so you're saying that affiliate marketing is just one of the most scalable models that anyone can ever get started with. Now, it doesn't mean that it's the best model in the world, probably, but as you teach in one of your training videos on your website at johncrestani.com, some of the biggest companies right now, as we speak in 2017, are companies that don't own anything, like Uber, Uber,
Mhm.
right? Expedia, hotels.com. Some of these companies, they're like the largest companies, most profitable companies in the world. And here they are. They have no assets whatsoever besides the actual software or network that they've created to connect consumers
Yeah.
and people who provide the service.
Yeah, no, it's I think you brought up a good point is a lot of people don't think of Expedia.com or Uber as or hotels.com as affiliates, but that's exactly what they are. Is they're very large affiliate marketing companies, but they're still affiliate marketing companies. And I think it's the cleanest business model you can have. And I think it actually is the best business model because you don't have to deal with, all the problems that come with having employees or physical products, inventory and all that stuff. It's very straightforward. And it's very, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I hit a point in my business when I had to start hiring people, which was the thing I was probably the worst at. I'm still pretty bad at it, hiring and then managing them because I end up micromanaging everybody. That shit's distracting me from what I love to do, which is marketing.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I completely agree with you that if you can run a business that doesn't involve you hiring people and having to deal with all that crap, it's just you choose such an easy life for yourself, at least when it comes to your business. Now, I do have to ask you one more question, and that is,
Sure.
I mean, I've been in this, like I said, I've been in this industry for a really long time. If there's one common thing that I see, it's people that are trying and trying and trying, and they basically go for years, jumping from one affiliate program to the next, and switching them every couple of months or so, having no success whatsoever. Okay, so my question is, what sets you apart from them? Like, how come you step into this industry and seemingly succeed overnight, build this tremendous business up to $500,000 per month, and someone else who may not be, dumber than you, may not be, in any way different than you. Well, besides perhaps your beard, which is massive. Okay, very few people can grow such a beard as yours, but they're no different than you. They're trying the same affiliate programs as you, but they simply cannot make any progress, and you're exploding. What's the difference?
Well, okay. Can I? I'm good. I'm going to address this with a couple different points. Okay. I'd say part of it is. I'd say one reason. And I'll go into each of these reasons. But one reason would be belief. A second reason would be a goal and slash bigger vision. Actually, yeah. The second reason would be a goal, and the third would be visualization. And I'll go into each of these. So number one, I would say belief. A lot of people go into this, go into any industry, I think, or any business, and they don't have full belief that they can do it. And there's I see a lot of people, and I know there's a lot of network marketers that are listening to this, but, there's many of you, how many of you have been to, one of these big kind of rah-rah sessions at Empower Network or, Mobe or Digital Altitude or, Herbalife or whatever have you, Vasalis. They throw these big rah-rah sessions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, do you have 100% belief? And they say yes, but they don't actually mean it. They don't actually believe 100% in their product or in the fact that their product helps people. They don't believe it in their core. And I call people out on this all the time. When aspiring entrepreneurs come up to me and I'm like, do you believe 100% what you're selling? A lot of them will say, yeah, of course, but I can tell, I can sense, call it intuition or whatever. They don't have that 100% belief in their core. And the thing is, if you're going to go to war, if you're going to step on the battlefield and you don't have 100% belief in the cause you're fighting for, you're not going to win. When it comes to life or death decisions, you're going to run, you're going to hide. When it comes to really stepping up and doing things that you're uncomfortable with in your business, or doing things that you need to do but you don't want to do, you're going to back away from that if you don't have 100% belief to the very core of your being that your product helps people. So I'd say one of the big reasons is belief. And no matter what I was selling, and this is a key difference, is no matter what I was selling, whether it was weight loss. And I've heard a lot of people say, oh, fuck those those products don't work. The way I personally work as a person is if I don't believe that I'm helping people, I don't do it. So if I ever go into marketing something, and I've marketed a lot of different products, I always believed that I had a hot potato. I had something that people had to learn about. I had urgency to get my message out to people, and I did because I had that belief. So I'd say belief's a big one. The second thing I'd say was a goal. And a lot of people, the reason why, let me use an example from one of my friends here. So one of my friends I trained in marketing, let's call him, I don't want to use his real name. Let's call him Marty. And I trained Marty, and Marty took off. He went from doing $20,000 a month in his business to over $100,000. And he was running a telemarketing business, and he hired a couple salespeople or a couple more salespeople and started doing really well. But the problem is he never had a goal to where he was trying to get to. He was just going with the flow. And the more money he'd make, the more he would spend it because he didn't really have any insight into where he was going. It was all fleeting, right? But if you have a goal, so what would happen is the money would come in one hand and go out the other because he never knew exactly where he was going. And he was just taking it too much day by day without that big goal. So having a goal is very important. And it doesn't just apply if you are making money, but it would apply if you aren't making a lot of money. You need to know exactly where you're going. You want to be at $10,000 a month or $20,000. Exactly what do you need to do? What do you need to do there? If let's say you do, I don't know, you know that for every 1,000 people you reach on a daily basis in YouTube, that you make one sale for Mob, or you make one sale for Digital Altitude, and you want to be making, let's say, $10,000 a month. You know you're going to need to have 10,000 views. You're going to be needing to make 10 sales a day, and you're going to need to have 10,000 views of your video every day. So you just kind of backwards engineer the numbers. But when you have a clear vision of and clear knowledge of what your goal is, you can backwards engineer that and take actionable steps to actually getting there. But it's got to be reasonable. I always tell people, have a reasonable goal so that you keep pushing towards it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And what you mentioned here is two very important things. The first thing you mentioned is setting the goal that is attainable. Because if you set a goal that's way too far out, your brain will just shut down. You won't believe you can do it, and you won't try. I mean, it reminds me a lot of about how I try to lose weight. And so obviously when you want to lose weight for the first time, you're like all pumped up and you go through your own sort of like internal rah-rah session, if you will. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking stick to a diet. I'm gonna run my ass off. I'm gonna go to the gym. But that never lasts. And so what I found was setting incremental small goals was much easier. Like instead of giving up sugar altogether, it's easier to go from having three spoons of sugar in your tea to having just 2 in your tea or something like that. And basically what happens is your brain, after achieving this small goal, tells you it's okay to proceed now. I believe I can hit the next one. And then you just, give up sugar altogether. Same thing with running. The first thing you do is you start walking. You don't run, you just walk because anyone can walk. Yeah. And when you walk for a little while, you start running, and then you start running more and more. And so incremental goals are awesome. I mean, it's really, it never fails me personally. The other thing you mentioned was clarity of your goals. And this is really big. Like, I mean, you gave the example of money math. Basically, knowing what it costs for you to get a customer, then reverse engineering how much effort and money and time it's going to take you to get that customer, then multiplied by the amount of customers you want. But what I heard there was clarity of outcome. So in other words, for me, again, I can only talk from my own experience, but for me, unless I'm super clear about the outcome I want to create, I will never achieve that outcome. I mean, I don't know why it works like that, but if I set a goal that is very specific, like I want to get 10 new customers from YouTube ads every single day, that is much more likely to happen than I want to get some customers from YouTube ads. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I would add in the last one, which is visualization. And I believe it's it's for me, it's always been very important to visualize exactly where I want to be, and see myself doing it, and not only see myself doing it or being there, but actually be able to even visualize what steps I need to take to get there. And back when I was younger, I remember, I was traveling around. I was broke, and I was traveling around in Thailand actually, but I was broke. And the way I had imagined it was basically I was traveling around the world, but I'd visualize myself, instead of being a broke backpacker, I was on my own boat, and it was easy to look off the coast and see people with their own boats, or I'd be able to imagine I was one of the guys on the jet skis that, cost $100 an hour to rent, which was a lot of money for me at the time. And, I'd put myself in those situations, but I would also imagine myself doing the work and working on the computer and seeing how I got those numbers. But imagine myself, instead of being broke in this beautiful place such as Thailand, I was carefree and had all the money that I needed to sustain me. And, the more I focused on that, the more it became reality. And the more you look for something to become true, passive automated income, the more you will find things that match what you're looking for. And it's funny, me and my wife say, we see so many pregnant people nowadays, or we see so many people with kids nowadays. And then we ask ourselves, we say, is it that there are just more people with kids out? Or is it that we're noticing them more? And it's not that there are more people, it's just that we notice them more, because that's what we're looking for. Whereas it's the same thing with money, or with passive income, or automated income, or whatever have you. If you're looking for it, you'll find it. It happens. Those opportunities show themselves. But if you're not looking for it, if your headspace is somewhere else, if you're looking for drama, if you're looking for reasons why society is against you, if you're looking for reasons why life's unfair, if you're looking for, things such as that, you're going to find them. You find whatever you're looking for. So visualization is just, I think, a very important component to knowing what you're looking for and attracting it to you. If that sounds kind of corny.
Well, it does, actually. I mean, it does, but it is true. And for me, it was really difficult part of the whole process starting out, because, I started out, I was reading stuff like The Secret, I was reading Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
and studying Bob Proctor's or Earl Nightingale's programs, you know what I mean? Like those mindset programs. And to me, the idea of like just imagining the things you want was a really bad one and really hard one to execute, because I grew up in Ukraine right after the Soviet Union broke down.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
that's a nasty world to live in, because it's very negative, it's very pragmatic, and it's a different upbringing. And so I basically had to change myself internally, right? And so I couldn't force myself to just sit there and imagine what I wanted to become, because that seemed too distant, too unrealistic. But
Yeah.
it was only after that I found scientific proof to the concept you've just described that I was able to actually pull this off. And so, what you said is like when you guys got pregnant with your wife, and now you have a 6-month-old daughter. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Basically, all of a sudden you notice families, you notice pregnant women, right? And so that's called cognitive bias. It's actually a scientifically proven concept. So in other words, our brain is designed to ignore certain things and to point out certain things to us, because it's easier to live our life this way. So when you set your brain to notice only the things that are useful to you, that is when things change for you. It's like you almost stack up the odds in your own favor, because you literally do not, like, you're not able to see the bad things and the bad reasons, and the reasons that basically say that you can't pull something off, and you see all the reasons why you can. So, I mean, it sounds like fairy dust, but it's not. It's a scientifically proven thing, and you should look into it. So, John, thank you so much for that. Now, so you started your own company. You started I Am Jet Setters. I'm sorry.
Jet Set.
Yep.
Internet Jet Set.
Internet Jet Set. And so the purpose of your company, the mission, if you will, is to teach people how to make money online, how to work from home. And from what I was able to determine, by studying, about it.
It's actually to help get rid of all jobs.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's to get rid of not just jobs, but all jobs. And it's our actual mission is to accelerate accelerate the shift in society to a self-employment economy, because people are not meant to be slaves. We have the technology, but we're working on, our ultimate goal is to shift everything. So it starts with work. It starts with the easiest place to work for yourself, which is as an online marketer. Oddly enough, this is I know a lot of people out there struggling, but this is the easiest place to make a mark for yourself and start your own business and be successful. So,
well, again, from what I've seen, you've been extremely successful at it too. I mean, you've had an article written about you on Forbes. You've been featured multiple times in the news throughout America. So what's different then about it? Like, how come your program is making such a big splash?
I'd say intention. I'd say a big part of things is intention. Our goal is not just I don't come from this space. I don't come from the kind of the empower networks of the space. I come from a space. I was an extremely dissatisfied student in college. And I believe that the education system and the corporate system actually really left me behind, and left millions and millions and tens of millions and possibly hundreds of millions of other people behind, because many people like me were told, go to school, get a job, go back to school, get your MBA, get a promotion, then get a better job, and that was the path. Get a house, get a wife, get a house, retire eventually. And that doesn't work. And the education system needs to change. And I believe education is extremely important, but a change needs to happen. And that's what we're working on doing with this. There's a lot of great business opportunity programs out there, but we start with a different intention. Obviously, part of it is we want everybody to make a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It all starts with you have to be taken care of financially. But a bigger goal is, I'd say, we have intention to shoot a lot higher than just selling our program. It goes way beyond that. We're, and I think that's evidenced by a lot of the work we're doing in virtual reality. We're creating virtual reality training programs, which are going to hit the market sometime later this year. We already have some hitting the market, but we're really shooting for the next level. We're getting a lot of feedback in the mainstream media. We're getting news interviews all across the country and all across the world, because this is not just your average learn how to make money online system. This is about leading a shift that's inevitable in society. And that's where we come in.
Man, talk about big goal, big, clear, very specific goals. Get rid of all jobs by teaching people and helping them become self-employed. That's awesome. That's really badass. So, guys, if you want to find out more about John, his work, and perhaps even, become a part of his mission and his vision, you can go to John Crestani. That's CRESTANY, johncrestani.com. N-I, yep. So make sure to spell it right, John Crestani, or you can just Google his name and I'm sure it will tell you how it's supposed to be spelled, because the guy's all over the place. And so go to his website and check out the free course on affiliate marketing. I've been around the block, but even I learned quite a few things from that free course on the website that you're just giving away without an opt-in form, without a webinar sign up or anything. It's crazy. So, John, any last words, maybe any last words of wisdom before we wrap up?
It works, man. It works. It's possible. You can do anything you want to do, but it all starts with your mindset. And have fun. Don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun, make the most of it. But yeah, if anybody out there is interested in working with me to promote my program, feel free to get in touch with me. I don't know if I should do that, but basically add me on Skype. My Skype name is John, John _ Crestani, or feel free to, if there are any badasses listening to this, feel free to contact me in my personal email, which is johncrestani@gmail.com. If you guys are interested in, helping me push this product out to the masses, and we have thousands of affiliates right now, but for people listening to your program, Igor, I know you talk to a very high quality audience. If you guys are interested in doing something to work together here, johncrestani@gmail.com. Feel free to email me and reference this program so I don't get creeped out.
Oh, wow, man. You're the first person ever, the first quote unquote guru ever to share his Skype and his personal email. So guys, when you reach out to John, if you want to work with him, please don't do anything to embarrass me. Okay. I mean, you're like the ambassador of the list building lifestyle. So if you email John or Skype him, just behave and keep in mind that you're representing not just yourself, but, the whole show and the whole community as well. So, John, thank you so much for doing this, and thank you so much for agreeing to do this late at night for you, so I didn't have to stay up all night, to do this episode. And once again, folks, it's John Crestani for the List Building Lifestyle. If you'd like to learn more about how John is changing the world right now, head over to johncrestani.com and check out what this guy has going on, because in a year from now, you'll be hearing this name everywhere. I guarantee it. So, John, have a great day, have a good night, and this is a wrap for the List Building Lifestyle. Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.